Welcome back. It's your boy Sleazy E and the greatest backup dancer in the world, C Diddy. Let's talk about shoes and how they wear out and how to tell when yours are worn out. Shoes will break down in three particular places. First is the upper. You may find with time that your shoes stretch out, especially if you're in a shoe that's maybe a bit narrow for your foot, or they may even tear at certain places, and it's really common to tear outside that pinky toe. When that has happened, it's not securing your foot in the shoe anymore. You may find that you have more blisters and other just kind of minor discomforts. That is one reason you may need to replace your shoe. Or you may be like my 8-year-old at summer camp with it split from his pinky toe to the heel saying, Dad, it's fine. The second place you'll see shoe wear is on the outsole. That is the bottom of the shoe. Especially if it's somebody kind of does not pronate enough, they underpronate, they kind of stay on the outside of their foot. You'll see a lot of wear either at the lateral part of the heel or the forefoot. And when that is happening, your foot is going to have a tendency to go more in that direction because there's not that neutral surface anymore. So that's going to exacerbate some of these neutral or natural things that are going on in your mechanics, and they can potentially cause problems. Now, the same thing can happen medially as well. As you can break down medially, and you can have problems with that. But we don't want that. We always want this nice, stable base of support. The third place that a shoe will break down, and this is not really easy to see, is the foam between you and the ground. Now, that most of the time that foam is made out of a compound called EVA. And the benefit of EVA, there's many. It's pretty relatively cheap to make. It's relatively light. It's relatively easy to shape. But it does break down with time. And what will happen is because it's foam, it'll compress. And it compresses under the areas with the highest amounts of force. So most of us will land on our heel at least a little bit in some way when we run, and everybody when we walk. And so we will see some compression, and usually it's at the lateral part of the heel with time. And that's a little bit easier to see than the forefoot wear. And there's more force at the forefoot when you push off, and so there's generally more compression under the front of the foot with a shoe that has quite a few miles on it. The big toe is the big toe for a reason. It's the power toe, and so usually you have more compression under the ball of your foot than the rest of the toes, and so your foot will be kind of like that base of support, which was neutral once and is now kind of caved in, so your foot's kind of coming in, and you can imagine that just works its way up the chain. Pulls the knee in, it just kind of messes up the chain, and so that can cause problems. Some people are more sensitive to a shoe being broken down than others, and so my recommendation is to take a look at your shoe kind of from time to time and make sure there's no obvious things going on. But when something starts to trouble you, maybe you have kind of a recurring, very minor issue, plantar fasciitis. And so when that kind of comes back and your shoe's got a lot of miles on it, that's like it's your sign, it's your tell. Okay, got to replace my shoes. Maybe it's just you just don't feel like you're getting any cushioning out of the shoe anymore, because when that foam will compress, suddenly it's quite a bit closer together. There's no air bubbles in there because they're compressed down, and so you're just not getting that soft protection from the ground. So the shoe companies generally they're forced to say something in terms of durability, and they'll say 300 to 500 miles. On a standard shoe, and that is really just kind of a complete average. I mean, there are people that are pretty biomechanically gifted that will get 500, 800, sometimes 1,000 miles on a shoe, and sometimes people are pretty injury prone and very sensitive to a shoe breaking down, and so they may get like 200 miles on a shoe, and I'm in that latter category. So it's a bit of using good judgment, paying attention to your body, and going from there. That's it for today. We'll chat you next time.